Yo, what is up, YouTube boxing family? It's K right here. I'm back at it with another good video for you guys today. So yeah, let's talk about it. I wanted to talk about this myth that people say that Americans don't support their fighters. Um, and yeah, let's break it down because this is a pretty interesting topic. So yeah, let's get right to the chase. America is a pretty huge country when it comes to sports in general. Most Americans probably watch, on average, American football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and tennis, and I probably say golf. And I would probably say that's about it. I mean, boxing is definitely heavily viewed here, but boxing is definitely on the lower tier of like being the most highly viewed American driven audience sport because all the other sports have been picked up by the popularities based off of certain people, depending on the age bracket of who likes what out of any sport that they like. So, as far as just the whole concept that people say, Americans, we don't support our fighters, and we don't do this, we don't do that. That's all a bunch of nonsensical stuff. Granted, yes, there is some racial divide in boxing when it comes to certain fighters here in America, i.e., like a black American fighter, or I don't know, like it's mostly black American fighters because people want to say black American fighters get disrespected here in the States, but if that's true, wouldn't we just be living in the Jack Johnson era? Like, wouldn't we just see black fighters get lynched right now? Wouldn't we see like public shootings, happen against black fighters, at a fight? Like, I'm just asking these questions because that's, certain questions that people don't want to ask, before even making those type of statements. But I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. It's just that that time frame is over because people at one point, yes, they were very, very racist here in the States back in like the what, like early to, well, I would probably say mid to late 1800s after the American Civil War, because that's where boxing in America started to boom a lot, because boxing, like boxing was never created in the UK, just to keep it honest. Boxing was first originated in ancient times back in ancient Egypt, if I'm not mistaken, and the sport itself evolved from there, from having, I think bare knuckle fist fighting, and then it, evolved into the quote unquote professional boxing gloves type combat fighting, which that was just remixed by the British, in which people want to say that the UK birthed boxing, but no, they didn't. Like the UK, you just remixed it. You did the same thing what James Naismith did back in the NBA, where he created the sport of basketball, but in the American way. But when you go back in time and you look at the originations of basketball, American Indians created, created quote unquote the sport of basketball, predating to the ancient Indian time frame during the Aztec and Mayan civilizations. And then there was even other cases of other Indian tribes doing the same similar formulation of creating the art of basketball. So basketball is a it's a very ancient sport next to boxing, baseball. I'm not sure about tennis. Tennis seems pretty ancient, but if anything, tennis definitely has its similarities with other ancient civilizations. But soccer, basketball, baseball is very old. Boxing, wrestling, hockey in a sense. Definitely hockey has its place in terms of being like a pretty old sport in other civilizations in the ancient past. So, I mean, like a lot of these sports really have a long history of people going back and forth, of having disputes, and having like a really tough competitive nature to have certain fan bases that people will perceive as to be positive or negative fan bases. But for the sport of boxing, boxing is a very emotionally racist driven sport. Um, People may want to disagree with me on that, but I do agree with the people that chat with me on my side of what the social circles. Yes, like boxing is a very deceitful, very discreetful type of community-based sport. But the sport itself, in principle, would be the greatest sport in the world if you just didn't have that bad community brought into the sport. But that's obviously like, rattled up through mainstream media, influences that have created bad fan bases out of the dumb, casual fan, boxing, community, how should I say, fan bases, right? But the true hardcore boxing fans or students of the game, like people that actually care about the sport, they want to help the sport grow. Like boxing is a very positive community as far as people that want to spread positive, factual, intellectual debates, not just using emotionalism and just talking crap to other people, and then people have to end up sending death threats to one another, where somebody's going to end up getting killed for saying something pretty stupid, to another person. But that doesn't really happen a lot compared to what happened in the past when boxing used to be really quote unquote tribal and mafia driven in a way, and which it still is. It's just that, a lot of things are just hidden in the sport because people are not at that same, mental motive anymore. But as far as the argumentation that people say that, people in America don't respect their fighters and we don't support them enough, like, that doesn't make any sense because for all the best names that are here in America, like, why are people still going to their fights if they don't like them? Why are people not, just supporting other, ethnicities that come to the States, like people from other foreign countries, in which, granted, that does happen, but here's the thing: those people from other countries don't have a fan base coming in, and the fan base that do support them, that's a very small percentage of those people out of 350 plus million people that live here in the States, or 325 million, I don't know, but still, American fan bases are huge no matter what sport it is that people watch. So you have to think about the competing markets that are out there, that are competing with boxing every day, where not everybody has time to sit down and watch some boxing. Like, other people have time to watch some American football, other people have time to watch American basketball, other people have time to watch American baseball, but not everybody has time to watch soccer. Not everybody has time to watch boxing. So you get what I'm saying. Like, the fan base is here. It's just that it just depends on what fighters actually come out to sell versus other fighters that are not able to sell. Like a Terrence Crawford. Like, Terrence Crawford, he's not getting the quote unquote, fan support that people try to say that we don't support. But Terrence Crawford's not fighting anybody good. And, this is like the same idiot that says, oh, the UK fans are the best fans in the world, but yet you're not fighting in the UK. You're still fighting here in America. So I'm just using that argument to say that we Americans still support our fighters no matter what. But the thing is that it's not just exclusive to just black American fighters. Like for example, like, when you see different ethnic backgrounds, depending on what it is, like Polish American, Italian American, like any fighter that you could think of here in America, people will come out in numbers to support the fighter. And no matter how much people want to say, oh well, that's not like enough evidence, you have to go look at all the other fighters that didn't get their shine, blah blah blah. But here's the thing: if they never got their shine, were they good enough to be good to be remembered as a good fighter? That's another argument too that people don't want to talk about. Like Floyd Patterson, he was disrespected multiple times for not getting his shot to be considered a good fighter, but guess what? People still remember him for him fighting all the best names in the heavyweight division. Same thing with like a Rocky Marciano. Same thing with the Matthew Saad Muhammad. Same thing with, Bernard Hopkins, Dwight Muhammad Kawahi. Like, all these guys that I could just keep naming on. Like, there is support here in the States. But the weirdos that keep saying this are people that are from the UK, people that are from other parts of the world where no one cares about what they're doing over there. And the thing is that when people say that Britain has better fans than America and the rest of the world, and then people say that the Philippines do, which, yeah, there's a good argument to say, yeah, Filipinos come out to support, but are they the best fans in the world? I wouldn't say so. I would say honestly the best fans that are being birthed are here in the States, because when you think about it, regardless of who's fighting, based on someone's racial ethnicity, America is at the spot to fight here when you're thinking about fan bases here. Not in the Philippines, not in the UK. All the big fights come back here. So all roads come back to America when it's time to, get bigger fights lined up for, for the future. So the thing is just that when people say that Americans, we don't support our fighters, go back and look at all the best American fighters that are fighting right now and tell me that their fan bases are not supporting them. Deontay Wilder, out of all of his criticism by the stupid people that want to talk crap about him, he still gets a lot of people coming to his fights, regardless of who he fights. But guess what? Deontay Wilder, he comes out to entertain you, but he also comes out to be the best that he can be. And that's like a lot to give as a fighter. But the thing is that Deontay Wilder does what he does because he understands that we, the fans that love and support him, that's what motivates him. That's what gives Deontay Wilder that kick to say, you know what, I don't care what nobody says to me over the internet, but I know when I'm up inside that ring, or when I'm fighting inside of the ring, I have people that back me no matter what. Same thing with Errol Spence. Over 30,000 plus people showed up to his fight when he fought Yordenis Ugas, and that was out in Dallas, Texas. And Texas is a massive drove of just many different ethnic cultures and backgrounds, and many people support him. Like, it's not just black people that support EJ. Mexican Americans support EJ. Maybe some Asians support EJ. It doesn't matter. Hold on, I'm sorry. Yeah, the case in point is that whenever a big name fights here in the States, the fan base will always come out, because when the fighter is fighting good competition that people want them to fight, regardless of what the critics say, to say like, oh, he's not that good, he's just gonna lose, and people want to see that fighter lose, like, i.e. like a Floyd Mayweather or whoever, everybody just goes back to the mainstream political narratives of using divide and conquer tactical methods to break a fan base of a fighter, when it's clearly not like that, because the real fans that support the fighter will always come out. So compared to other parts of the world, the UK doesn't do that. Philippines, Australia, anything that you could think of that is considered a good, like a good quote unquote fan base for boxing fans, they're never going to be anywhere close to America's fan base, because at least here in America, there's always higher opportunities being made for fighters that are either domestic or foreign, and American boxing fans will always show up for the fighter that they massively support. But like a case in point for my conclusion for this video, yes, there is a mainstream media narrative to divide certain fighters here that would make people think that we Americans don't support the fighters that are here in America, but that's not true, because the mainstream media, boxing networks like ESPN and all those weird ass commentary shows that people be doing, they're just lying to say that that Americans don't care to go to fights to support the fighter. They just go to the fight just to enjoy themselves, and usually go against the American fighter, which it's not true, because people, like, if people never liked a certain fighter that they never liked at all, then why even pay your money to go see that fighter? But case in point, Americans do support their fighters. People just don't want to acknowledge the massive buying power that people have to support their fighters. I've been to 3 boxing fights already, and I will say that naturally Americans do support their fighters, regardless of what people want to say. Alright, but that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.